Hello there and welcome to my brand new channel. Evil Scotsman Reacts. I'm an evil Scotsman and Jimmy is my name. That's a Billy Connelly song, check it out. I'm not sure if I can use that in my video intros. I'm going to message the great man or his management team and ask them, to be honest, because I'd quite like to do that. I've been watching a lot of reaction videos lately. It was never really my intention to start a channel doing reaction videos, but I love watching them, and I think there's not very many Scottish people that I've seen doing reaction videos. So I've got a channel here that I've just discovered on YouTube called Keeping Up With TikTok, and that's at Keeping Up With TikTok as the channel address, and this is a banger of a video, so let's get straight in. I don't think I'm going to be doing the full 44 minutes here, because I'll end up, by the time I pause bits and talk, being about an hour long. So I'll try and just maybe do half the video and we'll see how we get on. I've not watched all, pardon me, this is going great. I've not watched all the video, I've just watched like the first two clips. So the first two clips are things I've seen already, so the reactions aren't going to be genuinely surprising. I'm not going to fake any surprise either. I'll just provide commentary. But after that, after the first two clips, I don't know what happens after that, so we shall see. This is about people that can't find work in the Western Empire, the Western Hemisphere, whatever you want to call it. There seems to be a bit of a epidemic of joblessness, from what I can see. So we shall get straight in. Pardon me for talking crap.
Hey, does anybody know, are workplaces still, like, hiring people to do work? Like, you know, you go to your job, right, where you go to work every day?
What?
Well, do they still do that? Are we still all...
I don't think so, man.
Are we in agreement that we're all still doing that? Like, you know, you go to a place and you trade your time and ostensibly your presence for things like money and, like, benefits and stuff like that. Like...
I don't know about you guys, but for the last few jobs I've been in, it's been more like a fucking pleasure trip. So fair play if anybody does work that feels like work.
That still exists? Because here's the thing, I've been applying for jobs for like over a year now, and I got a part-time job. I'm working 2 jobs right now, and I've still been applying and stuff like that, and I can't even get an interview. Like, do they still do interviews?
What a greedy bastard, eh? He's got how many jobs and he wants more? Fuck's sake.
Interviews, is that still part of the process? I get that I'm kind of in like a weird position, and I don't know if anybody else is finding themselves in this position, but I'm a little older now. I'm going to turn 33 soon, and I've been self-employed for kind of a while, and I'm trying to get back into the field that I was pursuing before I became self-employed.
Which was?
And I can't do it. I can't get an entry-level job. I can't get a job answering phones. I can't get literally any full-time job that...
Do you know one thing? Whether the guy's talking the truth, and I believe him, I believe he's trying, I believe that he can't seem to find a job, but do you know something, guys? If you start off a sentence with "I can't," that's like saying "I won't." So just be careful of your self-speech. It's very important, guys.
That would give a 33-year-old boy such as I, you know, healthcare, or like, you know, what do you call the thing? Like a 401k. I can't get it. I can't. They won't let me. I've been trying for over a year. They don't want me to do that.
No, of course they don't.
Someone tell me what I'm doing.
Of course they don't want you to have a healthcare insurance plan and a 401k, because that costs them money, and they'd far rather have somebody who is on like a minimum term contract, temporary contract, so they can hire and fire and never have the additional costs. It's a fucking scandal.
I'm doing wrong. I have been applying for a minimum of 10 to 25 jobs every single day for the last 3 months.
Now, I've already watched this clip, as I did say. I'm not going to keep stopping it, but this kind of gets to me, this one. It does, because she seems like a genuine person with a lot to offer an employer, and it isn't fun watching this. Even though I am really evil, it still isn't fun watching this.
and I've been doing it consistently. I haven't even received a rejection letter. It says, thank you for applying, and then no word. There's no application status, there's nothing. My last real job, they found...
I will say that I've experienced that too. I've been lucky in that I've got a kind of network of people that I've worked with. My situation is very, very individual. I'm a single father. I don't have any childcare. I can only work what fits in with my parental responsibilities, and it is very difficult for me. However, even the couple of jobs that I've applied for that look like they might fit, not heard anything back. So I can definitely vouch for this being an issue.
They fired me because I didn't want to take advantage of small business. I have gotten calls and stuff, and it's always, oh, you're overqualified. But then other jobs, I'm underqualified. What is it? I'm very proud to be Thummel, by the way, but on my resume...
What is it, darling? You're not cheap enough. You're not disposable enough. And you seem to have a brain in your head. Therefore, you're very dangerous to a lot of modern employers.
My resume, I don't put my last name anymore because it is very traditional.
Whoa. You don't put your last name on your resume. So if I just apply for a job as Jimmy, I can't see me getting any replies. Now, regardless if somebody has an anti-Scottish bias or really hates people called Jimmy or hates my ethnicity, whatever it may be, you're still going to have to put your surname on your resume, guys. It's just a fact. How can they Google you to check you're not a flippin' prison escapee? How can they go on your Facebook and stuff like they probably do these days, let's face it, if they don't have your surname?
No. And I don't even want that affecting my, if people are not going to, even talk to me. And then on top of that, everything is expensive. I don't even want to do much with my money. I just want to be able to take care of my dog. Don't worry, I'm not going to cry on camera. Okay, so I have, a problem with being too honest, apparently. So I've been working on it by not speaking.
Wow. That's how much of a lie-based fraud the Western societies have become. I have a problem in that I'm too honest. So the way I've solved that problem is by not speaking. Guys! I'm also quite an honest person, and I do agree and vouch for that course of action, because people will attack you and fuck your life up if you say something that hits a bit too close to home for them.
I don't know what else to do. Do you know how embarrassing it is to move back to your family's house at the age of 26?
Kind of.
God, every single day for not...
Kind of, because once my marriage broke down, in the meantime, until I found a place, I was at my mum and dad's for a little while, and it was fucking horrible. I swear. Straight up horrible. And I love my parents. It was, kind of them to provide me shelter while I was in between like that. But it's no life for an adult living with your parents. None. Sorry, mum and dad. I love yous, but that's just the way it is.
Having a kid. A kid would obviously be a blessing, but I couldn't imagine what other people are going through with kids. The stupid thing about this is I hate crying, and I usually don't cry, but yeah, I don't know. I just want a job. I'm not saying I don't want free money. I want to work for it. I want a real job. I want a good job. It could be minimum wage. I forgot to tell this. I was offered a job 3 months ago, and the only reason I rejected it because it was all the way in the south. It was night shift, and I would be getting paid minimum. Or sorry, not minimum. $15.50.
Minimum plus shift allowance.
I literally lost my studio because I didn't want to pay 1.5 every single month.
Who wants to pay 1.5k every month for a studio? No wonder people are living in their fucking cars.
I haven't really lost hope, but I don't know, you're supposed to make connections, so if there's literally anyone who knows of a job, this is like...
This girl's a Canadian, in case you didn't notice that part at the top there. Calgary's in Canada, not the USA. So I don't believe it's much better south of the border either. However, just for clarity, this girl's in Canada.
One of my chances, so please just... I don't know. I have a good resume, I think.
Apart from it's not got your surname on it. So no matter how good your experience is in life, love, with the greatest respect, if you don't put your surname on your resume, people are going to be like, who does this person think they are? Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, you know, some kind of superstar. They might just think that way and just chuck your CV away, your resume away, in favour of somebody who gives their name. I'm not being hypercritical of this girl. She's got her reasons for maybe her surname being maybe something to do with racial or nationalistic hatred amongst others, but you know, it has to be said, if you've not got your surname on your resume, don't expect a great deal of replies.
This is pathetic.
I was laid off 6 months ago, and the job market is trash. So I was laid off 6 months ago from a company where I was in human resources.
Okay, so you were doing a non-job. Please tell me more.
And it was because of financial reasons, right? And
yes, because companies don't always have the money to pay non-job people for non-jobs.
And since then, I have submitted about close to 150 applications and have had 2 interviews. When I tell you I've submitted 150 applications, I'm talking about from a barista to HR manager. Anything.
So she's shooting anywhere she can to get some work. Fair play to the woman. Fair play. She's not just looking for things on a par or better than before. She's looking for low level work up to higher level work. Fair play to her.
Anything and everything in between, so that I can have some income, so I can help support my family, and I can't get a call back. I'm a military spouse, and today there was a job fair on base, so I went. I talked to maybe about 25 people or so, maybe a few more, and when I tell you, when I hand over my resume, we start talking, I'm going over my job experience, my education, they repeatedly have told me, wow, you have a very impressive resume.
Too impressive for here. You'll not take our shit and our psychological manipulation, and also you probably won't be loyal. You'll be looking for a better job immediately, and as soon as you get one, you'll be walking out the door. Then we'll have to get somebody that we really want, a complete idiot, to come in and get bossed about by other idiots with ego problems.
Okay, cool. Hire me then. Let's have an interview. Are you hiring? Well, no, we're not really hiring right now. Yes, we're hiring, but we don't really have anything in human resources. It's so discouraging. So discouraging.
I didn't mean to disrespect human resources, by the way. I did and I didn't. I've worked in companies that went from I don't know, let's say engineering companies, right? I've worked in engineering companies that went from, I don't know, 40 shop floor workers, so blue collar workers, and having maybe 20 white collar workers, to having 100 white collar workers and maybe 5 extra blue collar workers. A lot of which of the white collar would be things like consultants, HR, and all that happens in my experience, that's all I can speak of here, I'm not an expert on everything, is that these jobs come around when companies are either got lots of liquidity through things like overdrafts and things like that, or there's been some sort of significant boost to the company coffers, it tends to be a speculate to accumulate strategy for companies. So yeah, we'll fill the top end with salespeople and we'll get more business for the shop floor, which doesn't tend to happen. What tends to happen is, once business slows, they've got this top heavy drain and they're all salaried workers, good salaries, you know, and that drains hundreds of thousands, millions out of the company bank, and then they all have to just, you know, ship out, and then you end up with the same 40 blue collar workers trying to make the company function on a productive level without the support from the top. So that's why I call HR a non-job. I mean, don't tell me the general manager can't also do that role. Like, do you really need HR managers? They're just a form of legal eagle within the company, trying to basically fuck everybody for anything they can. That's my opinion on it. That's all I'm saying. Apologies if you're in HR watching this video, but to be honest, you do a non-job.
To consistently be rejected. I talked to one recruiter in particular, handed her my resume, like, hey, can you take a look? Let me know if you can think of anything that I might be a good fit for. She's reading it and she's like,
I can think of one. Do you fancy working in a sweet shop, darling? You seem really, really good at opening bags of sweets and putting them in jars. I'd say you're a little bit slow. We'd have to get you up to speed with the demands of a busy shop. Now, obviously, this woman's a military spouse, so I don't know what military salaries are like in the US or Canada. Over here, they're not very good unless you make it to a higher level. Our house looks okay, I will say that for her. You know, it looks clean, it looks well decorated, she's well dressed, she looks every inch the affluent wife with a good lifestyle. So she's obviously just looking to contribute to the family finances in any way she can. And she's kind of lucky in that respect that she's not, say, a single mother in this position, because a lot of them are losing their homes at the moment in the US.
People should be chomping at the bit to, like, interview you, to hire you. And, I mean, I'm about to have my MBA in about 3 weeks, so I'm 3 weeks away from graduating. She's like, with your education, your work experience, like, the way you present yourself, da-da-da-da-da, like, people should be chomping at the bit. They're not. Why not? Right? And I'm applying for hybrid, remote, in-person jobs, and I cannot get a fucking call back. I can't get an email back. All I get is automated messages or nothing. I get completely ghosted. You apply and nothing ever happens. I don't get it. It's clearly not my resume. Multiple people have looked at it. Multiple recruiters have looked at it. Multiple people saw it today, and all of them said, this is very impressive. It is hard. I applied for a position where they had 2,400 applicants. 2,400 applicants for a remote job. That's crazy.
Because everybody wants to work from home. Everybody wants to work from home. I'd love to work from home. As a chef, it would be impossible unless I was had a home business doing cupcakes or something. I shouldn't laugh. That is a viable way to make money in the culinary world for many people. I prefer the cut and thrust of a busy kitchen though. Service! The check machine. Beep, 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 beep. That's just me though.
Anyway, I feel a little bit better today after the job fair and getting positive feedback about, you know, my resume and stuff like that. But it is so discouraging. If you have a job, keep it. The job market sucks. Anyway, that's my rant.
Now, I will vouch for that. You're better off not leaving a job until you've got a new job. That's good advice for anybody in any country at any time, because you never know. You may be the best candidate ever. You may be the most talented in your field. But if someone doesn't like you, who's a decision maker, or you're up against somebody's friend, brother, cousin, nepotism's real and it's all around us. It's not always the best people that get the jobs. There's also these the box ticking exercises a lot of companies tend to do these days. So, have we got enough ethnic minorities working for us? No. Oh, we need to get some. Have we got enough, you know, gender benders. Have we got enough women? Have we got enough men? If it's a female-orientated profession, they might want more men in the field, and women are getting overlooked because they want a guy there to look good. I mean, I can't imagine that happening very often, but hey, it must have happened somewhere at some point, right?
Can we talk about how damn near impossible it is to find a job these days? Like, I'm at a point where I feel so anxious because it's completely out of my control. I'm doing everything I can, but literally no freaking results. I have my freaking master's, and I know the stuff that I'm applying to, I am more than qualified for because it's literally things that I did in the past, things that I did at my previous internship. But yeah, let me tell you 3 different updates that I have that happened throughout this week. So first of all, I got ghosted by a recruiter. I sent a follow-up email, no response.
Standard.
Second update, this is from a different company. So I reached out to someone on LinkedIn, and he looped me in with someone from HR. So she
Non-job people. So you're getting linked in with non-job people. Don't expect to hear back from people who do non-jobs.
emails me and she's like, give me your resume. And then I was like, okay, so I sent
Shit.
her my resume. And then she says,
Pardon me.
Reminder, our entry-level positions are only for students who are graduating between December 2024 to June 2025. I graduated last year, so that does not work. So I asked, is there any way I can be considered for these roles, or it's like strictly for graduates between, you know, this upcoming year? And she was like, yeah, you can't apply. So it's like, what am I supposed to...
Why do you think that is? Salary expectations. And a lot of these graduates these days, they will work for how much? Yeah, that's right. Free. To get the experience. So this girl, bless her, she will not be working for free. Or for less than, you know, less than the going rate for her profession, whatever she does. She has her masters. I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean shit these days, unfortunately, because of so many bullshit degrees that don't really take you anywhere career-wise. So I'm hoping that this girl isn't one of those, you know, who has maybe a master's in something that's not going to get you a job. I can't think of what, you know. It used to be sociology that everybody would study, but that can actually get you jobs.
supposed to do? Okay, third update. So I had a phone interview today with another company. This is the third company, right? And it went really well. But she was like, oh, we're hiring for fall 2025. That's a year from now. So it's like, I can't be considered...
Oh my god, really? So this video is a little bit old then. It's January 2025 now. This is clearly from like October time, September, October. When is fall? Just depends on the country, right? But here you would say that it's September, October, November, really. So yeah, we'll consider you in a year's time. That's cool. Would you like to pay my rent for the year in between times, man? What the fuck?
Considered for a role because I graduated earlier. Your position is starting a year from now. I get ghosted. So like, what the hell am I supposed to do? Like, everything that I go to, it becomes a dead end. And I'm at a loss. Like, I literally don't know what to do, and I am tweaking out right now.
It took me 7 months to find a job. After being unemployed for this long, I feel like I was going crazy. I feel like something was wrong with me, like maybe I'm not good enough. But it should not take this long to find a job. After talking to...
Things like that do affect people's self-esteem in a negative way, and that's one of the tragic aspects of our economy these days, I would say. Not so much the fact that there's people struggling, you know, people going homeless.
Well, no,
that's always been the case. Pardon me. But when it starts to affect people's sense of self and their sense of self-worth, I mean, that is genuinely heartbreaking, what she's saying. Hopefully she's got one now.
The only one who's been in this boat and, you know, has been unemployed for this long. But the fact that all of us are going through this just speaks to the system and just how
the system don't care.
Problematic and fucked up it is, right? Like, it should not take this long. Like, I'm 29.
Listen, the system is designed and run by baby boomers whose modus operandi is to fucking take all the wealth they can before they die and give it to only their family members. It's like a new feudal system, okay? Get it through your heads. It's a new feudal system. And if you're not one of the lucky ones from the lucky families, or you're not in a good position now, this could be a point where the working class breaks in half into the lucky ones and homeless, you know, literally.
9, and if it's taking me this long to find a job, I can only imagine how hard it is for new grads and for older folks, right? Like, I've seen jobs that are entry level and they need like 2-3 years of experience. Like, how are these new grads supposed to enter the market like this? This is just horrible. I really feel for all these new grads and these older folks, you know, who are looking for jobs. I hope it does not take this long for everybody to find a job, but it is rough out here.
I don't think 7 months is actually out of kilter with how long it takes people to find a suitable or ideal job, or even a job, depending on their current position. It's genuinely frightening. And again, if you listen to the boomers, they'll tell you there's plenty of jobs out there. Like they fucking know. They don't know, but they'll just say anything that sounds feasible. Now, I'm not totally against baby boomers or anything, but the fact of the matter is, this system we're currently living in is almost fully owned by them, is fully designed by them, and is fully run by them. So is there any sort of surprise from anybody that Gen X, Gen Z, the millennials, or the more, are all struggling in some way, shape or form? And I know that there's success stories out there, and big up those. A few of my friends are big successes and I'm proud of them. We're a bit older though. I'm 41. Some of my friends are a little bit older than that, and they even had a head start on me because the house price inflation didn't really start until they were at a point where they were ready to buy, or just after that. And then I was a little bit later, till when I was ready to first buy, with 2009, and by that time they were asking for massive deposits, and they were being very stringent on mortgages, and despite me having a great credit rating, I found it very hard to get a mortgage. And then me and the wife split up anyway. That's a different story. Maybe a let off with hindsight. Anyway, back to the video.
Well, I really feel for all of y'all, and it just sucks. It should not be this complicated.
The job market is so bad that people aren't even going back to full-time work anymore. I was scrolling on LinkedIn earlier, just kind of catching up on things, and I'm seeing a lot of people talking about how they're just choosing to freelance or contract work, not even creatively, like cleaning houses, like making websites, you know, Uber Eats, anything considered contract work. They're actually making more money doing multiple part-time jobs than picking one full-time job and like getting under.
Yeah, because if you take a full-time role, and I know this as a chef, you take a full-time employed role, I'd be as well sitting on the dole instead. Genuinely. So let's just pick an example of, let's say, a sous chef job. £36,000, which seems like a lot of money. It seems like a nice average salary for the UK, but we've become a country that needs two incomes of around that level for you to have any kind of real luxury in life. So if you've only got one income in your family, like I do, because my kid's mother's passed away sadly, you're going to really struggle on 36k. And on top of that, you're going to have costs involved with getting to your work and back. You know, you're going to need to run a vehicle or take public transport. That's got its costs. You're going to have to pay for food. And even if you work in a kitchen, in a lot of kitchens, you're not allowed to eat any of the stock. So it would either be staff meals, or you'd have to take something in for yourself. Ingredients or meals in for yourself. And that's if you even get a chance to have a break as a chef. You don't often... Things are changing, so I wouldn't say that, but you never used to have breaks, per se. You'd maybe go out for a cigarette. You'd be allowed to run a quick errand if you had to go to the post office or something. But generally speaking, chefs don't get breaks. So being fully employed as a chef on a 50-hour-a-week contract for £36,000 with the responsibility of sous chef, I don't think it's worth it at all. It seems like a massive take the piss when you consider a lot of these owners of the businesses are millionaires and stuff like that. It seems like a massive underpayment. Let's just put it one way. If you work in a kitchen, right, and you can't afford to eat there, then what the fuck does that say about our economy?
underpaid and overworked. I never thought I would see that in our society where people are just so over it. Obviously, there are people getting hired, but like there's also a lot of people that are been searching for like 6 months to a year and they just don't want to deal with it anymore. It's the endless interviews, it's the endless rejection. I mean,
I was just about to say that. Like, it's not that they give up, it's not that they don't want to work and they decide, it's easier just sitting on benefits. It's literally very bad for your self-confidence, your sense of self, to be constantly getting rejected all the time or completely ignored. Did you know, and look this up guys, being ignored can cause a form of brain damage in people. Okay? Now I'm not talking about attention seekers and narcissists and what happens to them if they get ignored. That's a narcissistic injury. But I'm talking about if you ignore a small child, for example, they could have lifelong mental disorders because of that. And even if you ignore an adult who has a valid point to bring up or something like that, that can cause them mental trauma as well. So, man, I can understand why people give up even trying after a while. After, let's say, a year of not getting any replies back. It must be incredibly soul-destroying.
I mean, it gets really tiring after a while. If you don't have a job, got laid off, or you're unemployed right now, are you like pounding out job interviews? Are you trying to get part-time jobs, or are you starting your own business? The world is so different now.
Right, this is a post from Reddit talking about the UK job market. It says, it's killing me too. The job market is effing me around, so I had to accept a job I don't want, which pays less, 23k, than I was getting before, 27k, to pay my £780 rent in an 8-person house share.
For any American viewers watching, that's 1k per month to live in a house share. To live, presumably as in, I see it at the end, the person's in their 40s. Okay, now, that's the sort of thing that can drive people to suicide, because that's the sort of lifestyle that you associate with teenage and early 20s students. Or perhaps even foreign workers who come to make money then go away with a big stack of money after 5 years. You expect that from either economic migrants or students. You don't expect it for a person who's been in the jobs market for 25 years already. $1,000 a month. And look at their wage. It's absolutely terrible. 23k. That isn't enough here. That isn't enough here to really do anything with your life. Especially if you consider the person is going to be paying what, 780 times 12, so it's 78,000 plus another 15, 1660. I mean, do the maths. That's not a kick in the backside off of 10 grand per year to live in an 8-person house share. And 23k after tax, you're going to not get taxed a hellish amount on that because it's still quite a low wage. You're going to end up with about 18k or so, I'd imagine, in your pocket. So that person in this excerpt here will be trying to live off of £8,000 per year. It's virtually impossible in today's society. Maybe in 2019, 2020, it would have been a lot more achievable. But don't forget, the price of most goods and services has went up by 2 or 3 times since then. So, is it as much as that? I don't know, it feels like that. At one point during the inflationary spiral, things that I was buying were going up 15% every few days, it felt like.
Which is driving me round the bend. I didn't expect to still be doing this in my 40s. So this post from Reddit just solidifies what I've been saying on my TikTok account, which is that people are staying in HMOs for longer and HMOs are killing people who are over at the age of 30. When you hit 30, most people want to start a family.
Killing them because, why? You're reducing people to this size, mate. In a developed country, you're reducing them to not having privacy, to not being able to bring a female or a male home from a club and have fun with them. Because, I mean, let's face it, if I go out to a club and I meet an attractive female and let's just say she's into me. I know it seems crazy, right? But let's just pretend for a minute. And then I say, we go back to your place or mine, and I say, well, You can come back to my place if you want, but I live with 7 other people and we only have a bedroom. It's a shared kitchen and bathroom. You think she's going to come back with me?
They want to start building, they want to start getting into a solid relationship, and they want to start looking for a long-term partner. You can't do this if you're in a HMO. You can't raise kids inside of a HMO. And it creates a very strange dynamic when you're in a HMO in your 40s and you're showing people who are just coming out of university, or maybe even in university, in student housing. Not to mention, going back to the UK job market, this guy is in his 40s and he's getting paid £23,000 a year. In your 40s, that just simply isn't a great wage. Now, I don't know what this person's circumstances. Obviously, life has its twists and turns and things happen sometimes. But it's going to be super challenging in your 40s to be able to get by on £23,000. Now, this person probably will be getting universal credit as well to top that up.
Well, I'm not
But
sure.
The fact is, they're paying
I'm not sure, by the way, guys. Maybe. I'm not sure what the thresholds are for in-work benefits. But if the person is getting any universal credit on top, it won't be much. And don't forget that, don't forget that if you came from UC to the workplace, I don't know, I can't remember how it all works. I did get this explained to me.
£780 rent for a room in an 8-person house share. That, to me, is an extortionate amount of money. Now, this person doesn't say whether they live in London or not. I'm guessing not, because if it was London, that number is probably going to be higher. But it just goes to show you the state of things in the UK.
If that was in London, it would be higher than that in a house share. Wow. We are so cooked in the UK.
UK right now with the job market, people's social mobility, the housing, and the
social mobility, there's none. There's none. No social mobility. Because unless you get a really great wage, you can't save money. Not here. It's almost impossible to save any money.
general economy. And I think generally this country is going down the drain faster than we think.
Amen.
Everyone else is looking for a job.
That guy there speaks so much sense. The Amazon FBA investor. Yeah, I think I'll check him out. Although TikTok's getting shut down, isn't it? Maybe not here.
Job right now. I feel your pain. I never thought I would be 36 years old with, two undergraduate degree from a UC school and a master's degree and legitimately unemployable. Yes, I slowed down my career in real estate the last 6 years to raise my kids, and it seems like I'm now
chucked
it
aside.
doesn't matter, and I know that I took time off, and that's on me. But
what else are you going to do? Don't feel bad about that. Raising children is the most important job you will ever do. So you have to put your children first, and fair play, lady, for putting your children first. And I know that it's led to this scenario for you, indirectly or directly, but it is not your fault. You did the right thing as a parent, taking time out during the early years to be there for your child. A child who does not bond with their parents is not a happy child.
it shouldn't mean that I can't even get a job anywhere. Why did I go to school? Why did I try so hard through high school to get into good college? And then I worked my ass off in graduate school because I really enjoyed what I was finally learning, and basically all to be told, I should have done something else. And I'm, unemployable. It's just really...
I don't think she's unemployable.
It's really...
I don't think she's unemployable. I think she thinks at the moment that she's unemployable, and that's her self-esteem coming out. But there's no way, with all her qualifications and her experience, that she's actually unemployable. She just needs to keep trying this one. She just needs to keep trying. I feel it so strongly that she'll get her wee moment when she's back on her feet real soon. But That's terrible.
Really depressing, and yeah.
Before this app gets deleted, where do you guys work? Quickly, before this app gets deleted, where do you guys work? Preferably remote, but I will take what I can get. Where do you guys work?
I was just wondering if you guys are hiring at this location.
Oh, we're not currently hiring.
Hi, I was just wondering if you guys are hiring.
At the moment, we're not. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's okay. Thank you. Hey, I was just wondering if you guys are hiring.
At the moment, we are not.
Hi, I was just wondering if you guys are hiring.
We currently aren't hiring at the moment.
For anyone that doesn't have a job or isn't actively looking for a job, the job market is absolutely cooked. For reference, I graduated from the University of Virginia with a 3.6 GPA in computer science. And today I received a decision on my McDonald's application. Thank you for applying to the role. The competition was high and you were among a number of very strong candidates. We decided to move forward with other applicants. I appreciate your interest in McDonald's.
Of course, he seems to be quite highly qualified. Now, there was a time when, you know, it was a bit of a standing joke that all the McDonald's employees all have degrees. You need a degree to work at McDonald's. That's a kind of standing joke. But obviously, or is it obvious? Maybe it isn't obvious. But it does seem like it's obvious to me that a lot of employers don't want people who have mobility in the jobs market. They'd like you to be, you know, somewhat more reliable than that. And this gentleman, degree in computer science, he might stick it out at McDonald's for a long time and make a career there. Now, I know people that have done that, by the way. The money at McDonald's and the higher reaches, management, etc., is quite good, is livable. Whether I'd recommend it as a career choice, probably not if there were other available options, but it can be a career choice for many. I don't think this gentleman would stick it out. As soon as he found a computer related job or a better paying job that uses his brain better, I think he'd be away. And don't employers just know that?
McDonald's. All jokes aside, the job market is absolutely horrendous. Since I graduated, I have applied to over 733 jobs. I've only gotten 2 second-round interviews and 0 offers.
He's got it down in a spreadsheet. He's applying for jobs all over the world. Look, Spain, France, different states. He's got Virginia, Cali, Florida. That is genuinely worrying when you see it down like that on a spreadsheet. Now, who does that? This guy deserves a job just for having a spreadsheet of all his failed job applications. Look at him. The 13th of May, the 14th of May, the 15th of May, 2 on the 15th, 17th, 2 on the 18th, 2 on the 19th, 2 on the 21st. Man, he's applying for jobs nearly every day. But look what he's applying for, though. Okay, he's got one junior data analyst there. A decision scientist. I don't think he has any hope of that. However, he's probably just applying for any jobs that vaguely fit his qualifications at this point. What a shame.
If you can refer me for a coding job or you can help me get a coding job, please message me.
How am I supposed to get a job when all of these jobs want previous experience? But how am I supposed to get the experience if none of these jobs will hire me unless I have the flipping experience?
This is a young person problem. It's not a particular problem of this day and age. It's something that I found to be a pain in the ass when I was a young man in the workplace. There were jobs that I could walk right into, and with my intellect I could have done with a day or two's training. I'm certain of that. To a basic standard, I could have done these jobs to a basic standard with a day or two's training and a tick list. But they want you to have 2 years experience doing things like, I don't know, basic clerical jobs and stuff. I find it quite insulting to my intelligence, but then again, I'm quite a high IQ individual and not everybody is that lucky. or unlucky, depends which way you want to put it. But it's definitely a young person problem. That is not to do with this day and age. It's just that the problem will be massively exacerbated by the lack of jobs on the general market and the sheer number of candidates that employers have to choose from with each draft. I don't want to be horrible to this girl, but you might not want to employ somebody who is covered in piercings either. I mean, I wouldn't judge someone for that, but I'm just saying that an employer might look on some, if it was just between an identical candidate and it came down to their appearance, somebody who has a better appearance will probably get the role than this girl. Unfortunately, now I don't like the way the world works either, guys, but unfortunately, first impressions, aesthetics are important, sadly.
Where do you want me to get the experience from if you're not going to hire me unless I already have the experience? How am I supposed to get the experience? Tell me now, please. I'm meant to pull it up my ass. Where am I meant to get it from?
You're supposed to work for free, don't you know? You're supposed to work for free for a year. It's called an internship, which is a scandal, by the way. Now, not all internships are free, but more and more of them are unpaid. Did you know that? I don't think they should be allowed to do that. That's just literally taking advantage of people's desperation and willingness.
Tell me. Look, I'm sorry, yeah, but you're not urgently hiring if I'm out here begging on my knees, begging you to hire me and you still won't hire me. If you were really in urgent need of an employee, you'd take me, perfect, pristine employee. So don't lie again. All you people.
What does I say about appearance? Now, I'm just saying, okay, it may be a cultural thing, and she's not one of the green-haired, face-tattooed crazies out there, right? But she kind of looks like one, and then to call herself pristine, when, let's face it, her hair's a mess, things like that. Obviously, it wouldn't be an interview day, I get that, and I can hardly talk as an ugly old man. I do understand I'm not very attractive anymore, or if I ever was. But I would go to an interview looking my absolute best. I wonder if she takes the nose rings out for the interview. I do wonder. And does her hair nicer.
People that have had your first jobs, please, I'm begging you, tell me how. Because how did you get in with no experience? Nepotism is nepotism. You planted, it's nepotism.
Yep. Mostly these days, because of the desperation of the situation. I mean, do you think a dad's going to let his son be unemployed? Do you think a dad will employ you instead of his son? If it came down to it. No, he's going to employ his son.
Do you know what I mean? I'm sorry, guys. I've lost my flipping marble. Do you know how many jobs I've applied
She only had one marble and she's lost it. Oh.
to, right? Do you know how many jobs I've applied to, right?
I'm just gonna do this long form.
Let's make this my last video.
I just met with a black woman, who gave me some really nice career advice.
Excuse me, why did her race matter there? What if it was a white man that gave you the same advice? Would it be any less relevant? Anyway, you know, it's one of my pet hates about America, and it's not even that I hate it on the black side. I hate it on the white side as well, when they bring their race into the equation when it doesn't have to be there. That just shows how much casual racism exists in the USA, when everybody of any colour has to be like, yeah, I spoke to a black woman, or if it was me, I say, I spoke to a guy, a baldy white Scotsman like me, by the way, for some advice. What if a black woman gave me some advice? Would that not be relevant? I don't fucking understand why you bring that into it. Anyway, sorry, sidetrack.
And it was a great conversation. As far as, you need to find your passion, you need to find this. I'm like, I know my passion. I just can't be paid from it.
What is it?
And the thing was,
Tell us your passion.
came from fashion design. I did fashion design since 2012. And I'm still doing freelancing.
So is that your passion? Or was that just something that came from your passion? Is your passion watercolour artwork and you just decided to do a design aspect of art and design because you thought there was money in it? We need to know more.
Dancing, right? But I'm like, at this point, I just need to pay my bills, right? I can't get hired in retail. I can't get hired in customer service. I can't get hired in, the most basic shit. Not with my resume. Not with my resume. And not even if I redo my resume. I'm like, I have a retail resume, but I haven't worked retail since 2015. I'm like, what am I supposed to do when I have bills to pay? This is so frustrating. And I get, like, her conversation was very helpful about, career and goals and reshaping your life, and I get that, but I am exhausted. I am exhausted with going on 2-round interviews at places. I am exhausted with trying to convince people that I can do whatever job they put in front of me.
That is the horrible thing about it, when you're basically trying to convince people that you can do a basic job. That feels like you lowering yourself to some sort of subterranean level. Like, honestly, sir, I can make a coffee. Honestly, sir, I can sweep a floor really well. It shouldn't be like this. It's actually pissing me off. I feel really strongly for her. I feel in her genuinity here.
I am exhausted. I don't have to be passionate about, whatever role that I'm going towards, or even 100% passionate about. Like I've applied for like consumer focus, or I guess customer service focused jobs, but maybe a little bit higher.
On that note, yeah, it's important to find your passion in life and try and make a career out of that, but don't give up your day job on a whim and a prayer, basically. That's all I would say about that. Now, I found a passion for cooking that I didn't know I even had, and I became a chef in my 30s, and I got quite far in terms of skill level quite fast, and then things happened in my life. It was a bit harder to spend the time on my career. I really needed to spend the time with my kids instead, and dealing with housework, and it's very difficult.
But like, one job just kept trying to convince me how boring it was on the second round interview that they made me come in for. Like, oh, it's boring, it's so boring. And I'm like, fashion is not always fun. The
problem is, my darling, you're probably of a higher intelligence level and a higher educational level than the people you would be working for. And their ego and their bossy nature, power tripping people, cannot stand people that are smarter than them.
Just want a job. Like, I can write a report, I can put together a PowerPoint, I can talk to people, I can motivate people, I can come up with a bunch of different ideas. I don't want to have to hustle every damn time. I want the security of
That's the problem. You can come up with lots of ideas. They don't want that. They want you to blindly follow their bullshit ideas.
having just being able to pay my mortgage. You know what I'm saying? Like, this, like, I get it. You want somebody who is gonna be here. Like, girl, I just want security. I'm gonna do whatever the fuck you need me to do. And trying to convince people that I can do basic things with 13 years of fucking fashion design on my resume is hard as shit.
Absolutely. I can definitely somewhat relate to being told that you're overqualified for things and all the rest of it, and them talking the job down to you because they're saying, look, this is not, they'll be saying things like, just like they said to her, they'll be saying, oh, this job's boring, or they'll be like, yeah, it can be. It's not as highly paid as your last job, and like you know that already. That's why you're there, because you're not bothered about that. You know that going for a basic entry level job isn't going to pay the same as your professional career did. But they'll try and talk that into you during the interview, if you even get an interview, in order to almost dissuade you from going further. I think what they're doing is maybe just seeing how you react to that kind of negativity. Maybe, I'm not sure why they do it. Maybe they're trying to talk themselves. Maybe it's their thought processes coming out. They're like, oh yeah, that'll be boring for you. That's because they're thinking, this will be too boring for her. So they just come out and say it, because they're in the position of power. This will be too boring for you. Won't it?
I am getting very frustrated, and like the only other option is freelancing, but then you have to hunt down people and find more freelance gigs to be consistent. And so I'm fucking tired. I'm tired. I probably should call my sisters and have this conversation, and I will, but just know a bitch is tired. I'm tired.
Okay, can we just talk about the
last
terrible
video.
job market for a second? Why is it so hard to get minimum wage jobs these days? Like, I remember when I first started...
She has really lovely teeth, doesn't she? I mean, maybe not everybody's cup of tea, but I like her teeth.
Working, it was so easy to get a job with no experience. You would just walk in and fill out an application, and if they were hiring, you were likely to get it. And if you didn't, you went to the next place and, like, you would get something. But no, every single job I apply for, I get denied. Like, here's an example. I applied at Starbucks recently, and I have previous barista experience, okay? And there's no reason why I shouldn't be qualified for this job. I've applied at Starbucks so many times over the years, and I keep getting denied. Like, look at this. So I just...
Did you perhaps open them before, work for them before one time, you know? Because a lot of companies, they won't have you back, despite how basic the job is, unless you're one of the chosen people and in with the in crowd, they won't have you back.
I just kind of scratched out the location for security reasons, but this is a denial email that I applied for this job like a month ago, and I'm just now hearing back just to be denied, but they're actively hiring. Like, I get emails every week saying to apply, but then they just deny me. Like, why hire or advertise your hiring if you're not going to actually hire people? They'll go in there and they're all scrambling, they're short-staffed.
No, they have hired someone, darling. It just wasn't you. Maybe they want someone who isn't qualified. Maybe they want someone with no brain, who they can teach how to make coffees, and they'll just make coffees for the rest of their life. You seem quite intelligent.
But they won't hire people. Like, what is with this job market? And I work 2 jobs. I'm self-employed for some of it, and then I work at the college that I attend as well. But I also wanted another job to kind of get some extra money in to help pay off some bills or establish a savings, because I am a college student and savings hard. But I just keep getting denied. So if someone's looking for work, don't just tell them, oh, you're just lazy, just apply for jobs. They just deny you. So don't come for us.
The job market in the UK is probably the worst it's ever been. I saw another brother on TikTok talking about how hard it actually has been applying for jobs, and 100% he's right. Like, a lot of us are in our boat right now. Like, we'll apply for 20 jobs one day, get rejected, 20 jobs the next day, you get rejected. You might get a few interviews here and there.
I said the last video was the last video. I might even say the video before that was the last video, but this is definitely the last video.
But it's just like, you know, putting all your eggs in one basket, because you're hoping on this one and it just doesn't go through. All this, unfortunately, thank you for applying emails. You know, I'm numb to all of them now. Like, honestly, it's just a tedious process. Inshallah, it gets better for all of us. You know, all of us that are applying and trying to get in a position where we can get what we're looking for. But damn, the market stinks right now.
Yeah, brother. I mean, absolutely. Well, that's it for me for now. Hope you enjoy my new channel. Hope you enjoy my strange little insights and anecdotes. The market is cooked. UK, America, Canada, around the world. I'd like to hear from some Australians here, some New Zealanders. Is it the same there? Is it the same in South Africa? Is it the same in the EU states? We need to know. I'm sure we will find out. The internet's a wonderful and weird place. So thanks for watching.